co-presenters here. And then I've got a little bit I'd like to say. So Canute, click us in.
We're in.
All right. And if you don't want the thumbnails of everybody, there's a setting usually in the top right view. You can knock them down a little bit. So welcome everybody. 331 week 1 training. Tonight's already halfway through June. Oh my gosh. We really welcome you. We're excited to see some of our friends blast from the past. Go ahead, click our next slide. Those who you don't know are Canute. Canute.
Yep.
Click the next slide. There we go. Welcome, Canute and Julie Diebendahl, our senior directors from the Tallahassee area. We've been working pretty diligently. They have for probably 4 or 5 months on the 331 system. And we're really instrumental in helping us transition to it. So those of you who haven't been around for a little while, it really is a simple system. And I'm going to have Julie and Canute take over here in a minute. But Canute, drop us back down to the view of everybody.
Yes,
if
ma'am.
you would. Because, yeah, stop the share.
Yeah.
I want to take my hat off to everybody who's a new manager. Everybody's been ranking up. We've had more than 100 enrollments in the last 30 days because of 331. The success is outstanding. Those of you who think, what's the big deal? I do this all the time. You're right. That's why you're going to be successful. We've got people who put in everything from 2, 4, 8, all the way up to 12 enrollments themselves this last month, just from this system of being able to do it. So we want you to be on with us all 4 weeks. It's really amazing. We're going to repeat it again in July and again in August, because all of us are going to rank up and go on that trip in 2024, right? Because we want you there. So congratulations to everybody. We got people ranking up. We have till the 25th for you to hit manager or director or above, and people are doing it. Some people are just almost there, just almost. So we want to get you there. So Canute, take it away.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to minimize that. Welcome, everyone. First of all, I would like to say a big thank you to Janet, because she was out here on her own for a year or a year more with trying to get something to work. We were extremely lucky to come in when we came in. We found we have a network marketing background, Julie and I, and the biggest challenge we had was, how do we find an effective, duplicatable, replicatable system? Because that's what network marketing is all about. When we can help people achieve a success in a predictable manner, there are steps to be followed. And when you follow those, then world is going to happen. It is going to put together a system that you can leave for posterity if you so desire. Julie, my wife, and I, we are via Australia. She's born and bred in Australia. I'm born and bred in Europe, and came over to Australia in the early 90s. We moved around a bit, and then we ended up here in sunny Tallahassee in Florida, because I got a contract gig with some computer work. Julie, what do you want to say quickly? Are you there?
Yeah, I am. I've got all these microphones and I'm just finding which way to turn them. Yeah, I can only just sort of reiterate what Canute said. We have lived all over the world, and we were in network marketing in Australia because I was a police officer and I didn't want to be a police officer. And I read a book with Robert Kiyosaki, and he said, get into network marketing. So that's what I did a few years back, and we were lucky to have learned a fair bit. But then we were being here, and then we came across this fantastic technology, and I was like, okay, I want to get back into it. So this is awesome. This system is awesome. It is super simple, super easy to do. And I just find that you just put it into every day and the magic takes care of itself. So enjoy.
Yeah, thank you. So as Julie said, the system is extremely simple. It's quick, it's duplicatable. You can use it with anyone and everyone. It focuses on X39. And those of you who have been around for a while, there is a specific reason for that. The company is now north of $300 million in turnover in a year, and 80 to 90% of that revenue comes from X39 alone. We're focusing on silver value packs or above for enrollments, and it helps people generate an extra income stream and or cover the cost of the patches. So the 331 basically boils down to, guess what? 3 things. You contact or speak with or approach 3 people a day. It's simple. It could be as simple as I was in at AT&T and I needed to change over a subscription. The guy said hello, very nice young man, firm handshake. At the end, I said, so what have you heard about stem cells? He goes, I know they're important. He wants to study to be an attorney. He's got 9 years ahead of him, or 7 years ahead of him to finish up. And going, man, you are very healthy. I'm sure you know someone with aches and pains. And he goes, yes, here's my card. He looks at it and looks around and puts it in his pocket. He said, I'll be back with you. Second part of this whole thing is to follow up with 3 people a day. So once you start getting momentum in terms of speaking with people, connecting with people, reach out. We'll go into details about this, but keep the process going, because otherwise you're doing some work and the work you're doing is falling between cracks and you lose people. So make sure you take notes of who you're speaking with, have a little notebook. And then the third step is to invite 1 person or more a day to a webinar or podcast. And we have some announcements about that a little bit later on, and I'm sure Janet will cover that as well. If you want to run fast, there was a lady in July last year, she got started, huge personality, huge Rolodex, so huge impact zone for people. She worked on the principles of 30-30-10. In other words, you contacted, she didn't really have a full-time job at that moment in time, I believe, but you can run as fast or as slow as you want. But if you predictably follow the 3-3-1 system, you will find people that you can share this with, and you will find people that will join you in this journey. So Julie, do you want to kick this one?
Yes, well, the 3 Ps of the 3-3-1 system. To peak is basically finding out if there's a message from somebody about their health, or they want to have a business or make more money, I guess, would be the best way to put it. So piquing an interest in X39 with 3 or more people a day is a system. You can do that by starting a conversation, as Knut just sort of mentioned. I like to use a system for this. It's an acronym, FORM or form. I'm going to talk to somebody if I'm at the store or on the telephone to a friend or whatever. I always talk about their family or their occupation or something to do with their sport or recreation, what they'd like to do, you know. So it's kind of just a nice little way to talk to people. And I'll give you an example. I've said to someone, so you're still competing? And, you know, she came back with, oh, well, got a really sore back. And I haven't been able to do that. So that's the message with the start conversations, ask questions. That's what I mean by you can, talking about their family and how are they? And that's what we do anyway. So now you've just got something underneath that you can help people, seriously help people through this technology. Start conversations, ask questions. You can reach out also this way via text. So we have some set text for that as well. Once you've received a message from somebody that they have for instance, a back issue. I had someone just text me that her sister has a chronic arm her arm's very sore. So I want to pre-qualify that message. So I can then say, what have you heard about stem cells? I can do that on a text, or I can say it to their face, or I can say it on the phone. Why? Because I want to know what their knowledge is about stem cells. Do they know about stem cell injections? Do they know you can get an injection and it's into a joint? Just little things I always ask, have you heard about stem cell injections? If they tell me they don't know. I do like what Canute said about everybody has stem cells. So that's another line. I would share a testimonial about their issue. Oh, sorry. I would share startx39now.com first. That covers everything you could possibly imagine in that link. And basically I don't move forward until people have viewed that link and told me what they found good about it.
Julie,
And
could you
then-
go in and explain a little more in depth how much is on that page?
Oh, the StartX39 now. They
Yes.
have a 2 and a 3 minute video, a 2 minute video on light technology. So basically light technology has been around for 2000 years. They explain it. And then there's a 3 minute one on stem cells and what they are. So if somebody goes, I don't really know, they get that information. They must look at that. That's so important because you need to get a hook. You need to get them to understand that this is not anything they've ever seen before. So then you can scroll down. They've got a stack of pictures. So pictures which show stem cell activation, a photo of a lady that say was in June last year to her face 3 months later or 6 months later. There's a big difference. You know, there's a lot less fine lines and wrinkles, things like that. I've used that to pique interest with some people because I haven't got it any other way. And they're like, wow, how do you get that? Like, where do I get that? Then there's clinical studies, there's doctors' interviews, there's pictures of animals. There's a wealth of information. So whatever people need, it's a proven system, and whatever people need, it is in there. So I point people continually back to that link rather than answering a lot of questions with my mouth, because you know what? People only listen, like, I don't know, Janet, you might know the percentage. And I'm the same. Like, if you're going to talk to me for an hour, how much of that am I going to really listen to anyway? So you can just refer back to that. I answer a couple of questions, but very, very little compared to what they can, because you're talking to yourself when you look at that as well, what you need. And then we have a podcast. So you can get that from the Telegram app, which I strongly advise. That is, if you're going to have one app on your phone, that one is the Money app, because they have thousands of testimonials. You can search, you can copy them, you can send them to your person, you know, very quickly. The people can click on that, watch a quick podcast that runs for 25 to 30 minutes about their issue, and maybe it's only 15 for their issue. They want to see that it works. They want to hear from someone else with the technology as well. And then we have youthing presentations once a month. And, you know, I already went through the website. They have on the StartX39 now, there are videos on there as well.
Fantastic, fantastic. So let me kick into what it means to have this business and you want to approach people. Everything in life kind of starts with a list. And in network marketing, where we are at, we are looking at whom would you like to reach out to? Who would you like to share this with? So you know people out there that are in chronic pain, you know people who are having issues with joints, whether it's bone on bone, whether it's they might be having issues with kidneys or other internal organs, or there might be the fact that they are stressed, they're depressed. The X39 patch has such a wide range of applications. And we know that in using X39 for 3 to 6 months, there's going to be a lot of different changes. So when we sit down with this, I strongly advise you to, or recommend, that you take yourself a notepad. And there's a reason for this. Take yourself a notepad or notebook and sit down, go through your list. Don't prejudge anyone. That's my strongest recommendation. Don't prejudge anyone. And chunk your lists down in 10 and 10 and 10. And you write the name out on in that notebook, and you do the approach to pique the interest, as Julie says. We have some lines coming up in a few minutes. But pique their interest. And then note down in your notebook, this is why I'm suggesting you have a notebook, because your cell phone, for example, does not have room to keep an easy view of whom you've spoken with. So you funnel it down out of your cell phone into a notebook, write down the name, start at the A, so wherever you want to start. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, write down the names. In fact, we could even do a list exercise, as I call it, a memory jogger. And it would take probably 30 minutes. And you will probably have more names on that notebook than you would even think that was possible. Because it's a structured way of talking about who you know and that way, but that's not the time for this. But please take some time, sit down and write down the first 10 names, do the work, write down another 10 names, do the work, and so forth. Does that make sense? I hope so.
Knut, can I jump in here just real quick? Those of you who've been with us for a while, I felt like we've had a pretty open field, and I want to give you a sense of urgency. The word's getting out. I had someone call me last week who hasn't talked to me in 17 years, wanting to show me LifeWave. that I'm like, I mean, who's this guy? Oh, yeah, right. We worked 17 years ago. And he's like, oh, have you heard of LifeWave? And I'm like, oh my gosh. So don't believe that person you're waiting on isn't getting approached. Things are firing up. So Knut's right. Make a list, and someone pops in your head in the shower, get it on that list.
Well, get out of the shower first, I recommend.
Well, yeah, you could do that too.
Either that, or if you have a window on in your shower,
Yeah, you know.
have a waterproof mark and just write it on the
Great,
screen.
waterproof marker on the shower wall. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. I have to say, let's reposition what Janet said. Perfect, Janet. Imagine your best friend from school, and you haven't seen them, you lost track of them or whatever. And then suddenly you, as Janet says, you get a call going, hello. And you go, dang, I wish they were in my team.
Yep.
And that is the biggest, most horrible feeling that I've ever had. It happened to me in Australia. And yes, not again. So I just had a question pop up, but if someone wanted to record it locally, we are recording this. It will be processed by Zoom. And once it's done, I would be in a position to upload this pretty much straight to YouTube. You'll have a link for it. And YouTube takes about 3 to 4 hours because it upgrades the quality of the video and it creates a transcript of the video. So when we come out of this, I will put it on and it should be there ready for you tomorrow morning. And Janet will probably share the link in the youthing group. Is that okay? Great. So again, when you're speaking with people, if you know them and you know some of the circumstances, you can't have an angle in and you can talk to them. But maybe it could be the fact that they just want $100 extra per week to pay for the cleaning of the house. Maybe, I mean, financial advisors these days say that you need to have 2 or 3 income streams. Would you like to supplement a 401k? Or do you want to, are you in pain, or do you know of someone in with a chronic illness? Do you love health and wealth? What if you could spread this gift? And I sincerely believe that this is a gift we have. It's a gift that we can give people health. And someone made a joke the other day. I hope that in terms of medical professions and the like, if the big pharma could heal us with a pill or something like that, why does the doctors give us a script with a repeat? I never got that.
No.
And when I hit LifeWave, I suddenly went, oh, this makes sense. This makes so much sense. And there are people out there who love network marketing. They've been in network marketing before, I have. And yeah, I made a lot of money. And then I moved different countries. But anyway, you find whatever, what that button is, number one, for yourself to do something extra, because this is extra work, remember? Normally you have an 8 to 5 job, you've got kids and everything else, so you need to be able to hollow out some time for this.
Knut, I'd like to just add one thing. Janet Hudson and I were speaking, and we we're speaking about nurses, and Janet had a really comprehensive list of all the issues they're up against in their jobs and how hard it is and how pressured they are, and really thinking about their quality of life, that, gee, you can share this on a lot of levels, is my point. Think about people in their life right now, because nobody's looking for stem cells when they get out of bed in the morning, you guys. They want to be out of pain, or they want a better job. They want a better life.
Absolutely. That's maybe a great list to share, actually, if you have it
Yeah.
typed up and stick it on one of the Telegram channels or something like that. I was in a boardroom today with a Chamber of Commerce here in town, and with the thought that struck me is, well, maybe I should just sponsor breakfast one day and just go, everyone in the room, could you stick your hand up if you got some stem cells? Depending on your age, how active are those stem cells? So there are so many ways of cracking open the door to have a conversation. What is going on with you? You observe someone who's got a sore back. You can literally give someone a compliment. Oh, that's a nice shoes, nice pendant. Next line is really the crux of the matter here. What do you do? Why? Because spin this around 180. If I'm having a conversation with you and I'm asking, so what do you do? What's your occupation? What do you do for recreation, as Julie said earlier? At some stage, if the person is reasonably polite, they will return the favor and ask you, so what do you do? Now, this is not the time for us to go, here is a 45-minute presentation on LifeWave and the patches and how they work and everything else. No. This is where we come in and we come gently with a smile on our face, smiling our eyes, and say, you know, I have a stem cell technology business, or I have a stem cell activation business. And if they're half switched on, they'll go, wow. And they go, oh. So if they don't respond, next question would be, what have you heard about stem cells? Another line that you can use on text, you can use it in front of people. I finally found something to help me. You can relate it to your back, to whatever you see on the screen. I finally found something that can help me calm me down. I get stressed very easily. And these are such an easy way to bridge and connect with people. Dr. Stacy, who's a senior presidential director, used this for the first iteration of her list. I come across something that is the holy grail of natural healing and regenerative health. I know you're interested in natural holistic medicine. Would you like me to send you some patches? And you're engaging. And most people who are half switched on will go, well, I'm kind of sick and tired of the alternative. So yeah, I'm very, very interested. In fact, I was sitting across the table in the boardroom today, very quickly. And this lady goes, I'm hearing something about going to the beach. We're not wearing sunglasses. And I go, you know, that's kind of interesting. I heard that the other day as well. Like, don't wear sunglasses on the beach, because the ultraviolet light activates a process in your body that prepares your skin for the sunlight. If you wear the sunglasses, you never get them. That activation process, which means that they try to put all these chemicals on top of your skin to prevent sunburns. Go back 100 years, people that didn't have sunglasses. There were no skin cancers around. You've got to think about it that way. So she goes, oh yeah, I'm totally on page with natural. And so, isn't that funny? So am I. Here's my card.
Yeah.
Okay,
So can
go
I
ahead.
just, oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead, Julie, go ahead.
I just wanted to just repeat a bit what Knut said there about I finally found something. That is a winner. I think CJ just put it in there as well. Those words are key. I finally found something. Just because people, when we were in Tampa, I think it was Bob Campbell explained why. but it's like you finally found when you've lost your keys, your car keys, as an example, and then you finally find them, like you finally found them. I mean, it just gets people into that thinking. So they're like, oh, wow, this must be good. And I have used it and it's worked like a number of times now. It just rolls off my tongue. But if initially I thought, oh, that sounds a bit funny, but when it works for you, you'll get it.
Thank you. And Julie also brings something else up. Some people in the group are more introverted. That's fine. Lots of introverted people are millionaires. But when you are talking to people, sometimes you have to bring your energy up. So if I said, I found the Holy Grail of regenerative health, you'd be like, what? But if I go, oh my gosh, I finally found the Holy Grail of regenerative health. Now you're like, well, what'd you find? You know, so be willing to pump it up just a little, you guys, not crazy. But if you're normally just a quiet person, this is a time you do have to just give it a little more energy. Be excited.
Just imagine that you're holding $1 million lottery ticket in your hand. How excited would you be?
Yeah.
So there are other lines. We kind of early on in this process goes, what do you know about stem cells? Then someone pointed out that can be a little bit confrontational because, well, do you think I'm a Dumbo or a dummy? So the change is in just small, minute adjustments, and we do these all the time. What have you heard about stem cells? What have you heard about the latest advances in stem cell technology? And that certainly has people thinking and go, hey, if you're interested and you want to know more about what stem cells can do for your body in terms of helping you regenerate and solving your back problem or your sciatica or whatever it is, I can send you a link. And when you have watched the link, I will give you a call probably in 24, 48 hours, if that's okay. And let me know what you found to be the best part of those videos. It's simple. So that's the asking part of it, peeking. Here we go, Julie.
So just stepping back into the peaking of interest. When we go to a networking function, I find that now is super easy. Before I was like, oh, what am I supposed to do here? Am I supposed to walk around and just, give my cards out, all that kind of thing? Now I make it so much easier on myself, but I also know that whenever anybody speaks to me, I make sure I get their card, I find out about them, I find out about what they do, and then they say, and what do you do? And now I go, I have a stem cell activation business, or I am in the stem cell technology business, something like that. I haven't had one person go, oh, and we'll walk off. Every single person wants to know more. So then we go into what I just mentioned before. I have a little acronym that I use. So I talk to them about their occupation maybe and see if there's some issue there. So they'll go straight into that because I'm looking to pique their interest in terms of having a look at the website, StartX39 now. And most of the time I get there at a network function. It's pretty simple to get to the next stage. But when you get good at it and you pique their interest while you're there, that's a real winner. Icebreaker, what's that? Always wear a patch that is visible on your body. We always do. Every day I have a patch that's on my hand or my arm, because if I get a peaking opportunity, and I can point to the patch and I say, well, here it is here. I'm activating my stem cells. Yeah, and I'm not an introvert, so I could actually point to it and say, hey, would you like to hear about my business? It's a stem cell activation business. I mean, it just depends what mood I'm in, but yeah, you can do that too. And people go, no, what is it? What is it? Last resort, yeah, point to the patch again. Have you seen one of these before? We have signed up silvers doing that pretty easily as well. And yeah, so what we want to do is pique their interest and then get to the link and then have their cell number ideally, so that you can follow up with them.
Right. Knut, before you go on, Janet and Bob, could you unmute? Bob, I would like you to share how you shifted once you understood this and before your hesitancy and what and how it is for you now.
Well, basically, when I shifted, it was just, listen to Knut quite a bit. And I finally got to the point where I was just, okay, I'm just going to talk to everybody. It doesn't matter whether anything is going on or not. Like, perfect examples, I walked across the street to ask a guy that was working on spraying the lines for gas today. What? And talked to him for a second. I looked at his hand, it was all swelled up. I was like, what happened to your hand, And he goes, well, I blew it up with fireworks. So he actually had a skin graft on top of his hand. I said, hey, let me tell you, I know this technology patch that possibly could help you tremendously. Can I give you some samples? He goes, well, sure. He said, but it's never going to go down type thing. So he automatically just, played it off like nothing was going on. But that's how easy it is to get a conversation going. Just ask someone what they're doing. You don't even have to say, I'm with a technology company. Just go, hey, how are you today? You doing okay?
And they always tell you, no, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And then you have an open conversation.
Automatically, they're 99% of the time they'll say, well, my back's a little sore. How much more of a door do you need open to start a conversation? So I definitely seen it work with Julie and Knut tremendously. Even Cam A throws up on people, but it's okay. She's getting out there and talking to people, and that's the whole thing. Just get the conversation started, and you decide how much you need to.
If you couldn't tell, Bob can talk to anybody anytime anyway, but now his conversation is directed so that he finds out what they need and talk to them about Lifeway.
Great. Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Knut.
No problem. No problem. It's kind of funny because as an adjunct to all everything we're talking about here as well, let's say you're sitting in a restaurant, and we have had this a number of times. There's a lot of young people, sometimes they're a little bit older, but so how long have you been doing this? And they go, oh, I've been doing this for 14 years. So what do you find interesting, or what do you love about it? And they go, well, I don't really like it that much, but it means an end. Next line is, have you ever thought of having your own business? We got a number of hooks out on that. And it's just so easy. It is so just re-roll these things off your tongue, and you don't really have to prepare a long scripted conversation in your mind that what if they say this and what if you do that and what no, just have a conversation. Right? That's all it takes in this business. So rolling on the pre-qualification. So we have two websites that we use. StartX39now.com is the one we primarily use. I like the layout out of it. It's got the two videos at the top. It's got the pictures in the middle, and some technology and everything else down the bottom. What is really, if you have people who don't necessarily speak English or Spanish, whether it's Portuguese or any other language, StartX39.com has a Google Translate built in, and it can translate to 104 languages in the terms of what's presented on their website. So do a little bit of an assessment. We don't want to confuse you. StartX39 now is the one we primarily use, at least for the time being. And just remember, have a look at the two, and whichever one you use, the information is virtually identical. And it is just two slightly so it's a spin-offs of the system where we're pulling our information from. We're very, very lucky that they allowed us to share the information that they have, and we're making use of it. So when it comes to once they have actually watched the video, you need to now reach out to them. This is the kind of the beginning of the follow-up. reach out to them and so what interested you the most in the video? What did you like the best of the video? Please do not ask the question, what did you think about it? Just go with a positive spin. What interested you the most in the video? What did you like the best? How do you think or hope it can help you with whatever is going on with you? See if you can get these. I like to use the term the hook. Like when you're out fishing, you're throwing something out and you're hoping something is actually going to bite at the end of the day. That's why you're sitting there. And you are waiting for someone to come nibbling at the hook, or just take the hook directly, hook, line, and sinker, and go, yes, I want it. Julie had a classic one last week on this one. She's at the post office. And she goes, hey, Julie, do you want to quickly recap the situation? What happened?
Oh, this has been an example of when you do 331 every day, you get lucky. This was one of those days because I walked into this post office. I'd probably been in once in like 4 years, and this lady they opened quite late, and we were all standing around. But anyway, when we got in, I'm thinking, oh gosh, this lady, you know. But anyway, I got to the front of the counter, and I was sending I had some cards, like it's from LifeWave. I use them with the samples. So I was sending them to a brand partner in Norway. And, so I was discussing it with this lady, and she's like, what are they? They look interesting. And I said, I have a stem cell activation business. Just that line. And she said, I need some of that. And I went, what's going on with all these people behind me in the line? Oh, I have a da, 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 da. And I said, well, here's my card. We got to go. I got to go to tennis. And anyway, she says, I'm gonna text you. So she did. 15 minutes later, I went to tennis. She said, can you bring me some back? I just happened to have some in the car. She signed up as a silver. So that was unreal, but I thought it's just what you reap what you sow. I mean, you talk to 3-6 people a day, tell them that you have a stem cell activation business, someone's going to go, thank you.
And the key there is put some effort into your own story. Put some effort into your own story. I had this problem with a Sobac. I had this problem with whatever. Well, I was looking for more energy. I was looking for more focus. And when you do that, people can relate to you because they can draw comparisons into their own life or into family members' lives or friends' life. So it is so crucial. Just if you have to personally share a story or use the Evolve testimonials page. I think there's something like 3,000 or 4,000 testimonials on that Telegram channel. You can search it for various things, and some things you get hundreds of hits, some of them you get 1 or 2, some of them you get none. But it is just play a little bit with words. I had one guy today, he's got Asperger's syndrome. I searched for Asperger's, it was not there. I changed it to Spectrum.
Spectrum, yeah.
And then suddenly I got a whole raft of them. And he was super excited because he can't take any medication, super sensitive, but all of that, it's just so he can share a story about what people have had issues with. You want to say anything to that, Janet?
Nope, let's rock and roll.
All right. So I'll kick this one to Julia.
Okay, so PK their interest. I love saying PK. So it's an Australian trying to speak French. So let's go with peak. So you have to open your mouth and you have to ask. So, how are you is a good start, right? And to really kick in with the 331, you must pique the interest. You can, and I have had it, and some of my brand partners have had this. People, and you all have. Some people jump the peak side and they see the website and then they go, I'm in, so I want it. Here's a key point for me. Now that I've been doing this, I really need to pique their interest, because if I don't and I sign them up, it's really hard to educate people. Because then they start going on with the I don't feel anything because they don't know what they're supposed to be feeling. So, it's something that I've really realized the last few weeks, even how important that peaking is, number one, and finding out what they want from the patches. And the X39 is my go-to. And then the pre-qualification, pre-qualifying with the website, the startx39now.com, following up with that, and then sending a testimonial related to their issue or their family member's issue or something like that, and then checking that they're actually looking at it. So it might be that they only need to watch 10 minutes of it. It's not a huge ask for people. And then you have the testimonials. They run them Monday to Thursday nights, 9 o'clock in Florida time. So, if people want to watch that, I find that the people that actually go through this process tend to stay on the patches a lot longer, tend to refer people. And that's what I've seen. And we've been doing this for probably 6 months. Definitely got a lot more referrals because we've followed this system. And then the close. It's easier to close people at a silver pack, 3 months on X39 or a couple of months with some Eon patches, Eon to go with it. Just depends on the situation.
We'll
lot
cover that next
easier.
week. Yeah.
A lot easier.
Julie had a good point there, in the sense that watch the testimonials. I think what we have come to the conclusion here now is that we're sending people to the Telegram channel. We will find a video or find a testimonial and send them to that, because they can watch it at any given time. They don't have to stay up till 9 o'clock at night to watch something, and you don't even know whether what happens that at 9 o'clock is actually going to cover their issue. And that's why when you use the Telegram, the Evolve Testimonials channel, you can literally send them a link there and then, and they can just go home at lunch and they can watch it. They can come home at night and they can sit in the bed and watch it, which is specifically geared towards their issue. The final thing I want to mention on this thing is our consumption of sample patches have virtually gone to zero.
Okay, pardon me, Knut, may I interrupt one key thing before you go there? So we've got some folks who return with us tonight since they haven't been around maybe 6 to 12 months. A little shift you should know is we're focusing on brand partner enrollment at the silver pack or above for a couple of reasons. Yes, you can enroll preferred customers, that's fine. But we've found over time, people need 3 months of X39. Research shows, we all know, if you do it for a month, maybe you saw something, but often we know the body needs it, right? So we found that the silver pack would get three packages of X39 in. It's on their counter. When they brush their teeth in the morning, they put their patch on. When they brush their teeth at night, they take it off, right? Because we found somewhat in the customer enrollment, people often get to week 6 and they think nothing's happening and things are canceling. And what we found is, let's get 3 months in there. Julie's going to show you next week on the follow-up what you do once it lands. This is a system, you guys. Week 1, we're showing you how to start things. Week 2, how to follow up. Week 3, the compensation plan, what it's going to make. And week 4, how you can upgrade them through things. So please be here. But if you haven't been with us for a little while, the silver pack is your go-to right now. So thank you, Knut, for letting me interrupt.
And then the samples, I just wanted to say we will be covering a bit more on samples next week. Because of this system, you don't need to use as many samples before they're in the business.
Yep.
Very good point. Very good point. So finally, did you actually ask them to get started? So, I mean, in many respects, they have watched the videos. We get through this to the closing section next week. Janet, would you want to take this one, please?
Okay, and before we do, if we could stop the screen share. Dr. Velvet, I would appreciate you just sharing for some of the folks that come on tonight, your success or not prior to this system and how it is now for you.
Oh, that's a really good question, especially the before. Because the before, my mindset was, who do I know? My mindset now is, who doesn't know me? Those are the people I am focusing on. I'm not focusing on the people who know me. I'm focusing on getting this awareness out to everyone. And the reaction is absolutely amazing. The other difference is before it felt like I was selling. I had to sell a product. You know, I had to convince people they needed it. But now it's that they want me because I've said, have you heard about stem cell activation? Have you noticed my face? And so, and you know, it's even still funny because there was a GP that got on one of my posts and said, oh, that's baloney. That there's no way that that could have happened. And so it still stirs a conversation. So the ease in this 331 now is that you don't have to know everything. All you need to be aware of is who needs to be aware, and that's everybody who doesn't know you. And then just send them to the duplicatable information that we have, and they're going to call you back. I was just texting a therapist who said, oh, I don't have time to meet with you tomorrow when you're in town because I have several appointments tomorrow, but I need to check with the other therapists to see if they want to do this. I sent her a simple image of the guy whose face was clearing up within 3 days, sent her another image about the woman whose face transformed, and she said, I'm in. So it won't matter whether other therapists are interested or not. She's going to be the leader in it, and that's what I want.
Thanks, Dr. Velvet.
Mhm.
Also, before Knut jumps on, we want to say a real high five to Miss Cam Wave. Cam put in 12 enrollments in the last 30 days. So it is possible. Cam May's just talking and talking, sharing those resources. And some of you put in, I know Rainey put in like 7, and we've had people all over the team. All of a sudden, it's just like it broke loose. So be encouraged.
And Stephanie got up there. She was at 11. She couldn't be
Oh,
on
that's
tonight,
right.
unfortunately, but yeah, I'll give her a plug. So good
Yeah,
job.
absolutely. And Ruth Ann, I think, had 4. So, and we're going to take you through the next phase next week. So you need to be here. Okay, Knut, let's go to the rank up. All right, we have about 10 more days before the June rank up is finished on June 25th. Honestly, if you would like to be manager, which means there's 2 silver enrollments on your left team, 2 on your right, and the company, as someone said, the company's opening their checkbook. I'd like them to write me a check. I just had a new manager rank up today. We've got a bunch in the wings. So if you would like to run for that, or director, $300, or senior director, $1,000, put your name in the chat and say that I'd like some help. We will get you there. Honestly, you guys, it's not really that hard. And for some people, my new director or new manager today ended up earning just today, because she had a backlog of points, $500. And for her, that's made a huge difference. So you never know how much it's going to help people. So please raise your hand if you'd like some help, and we'll definitely take you through this. What do we got next, Knut?
Yeah, just on that one, very important here, remember guys, the people that are above you in your team and that are active and working, they have the experience. So if you're brand new, or you've been sitting on the sidelines, all the things, life happened or whatever, please reach out, because we want to see you succeed. The biggest gift you can give us, Julia and I, Janet, and anyone else who's manager and above, is, okay, I'll stick my hand up and yes, tell me what I need to do, coach, tell me what to do, and I'll go and do it.
Yep.
Because it is not in our interest to try to tell you wrong information. It's that simple. So anyway, next one. We have a number of events coming up. The biggest one we are in a near term is in Houston, coming up at the end of the month. The pictures that you see there of these faces, happy smiley faces, they're all senior presidential directors. And they will be sharing their knowledge, they will be sharing their experience, they will sharing information about the patches, they will share some lines on how to build the business. For example, the line that we just had, I finally found, came from this man here called Bob. He goes, and suddenly it's rippling out. This lady over here, Dr. Stacy, is the one who said, oh, I think I found a holy grail in natural healing, and so forth and so forth. So there's so much information. The team is coming in from all places, all parts of Texas and other places. Julie and I'll be the representative for us over there. We'll be over there. And it's all about building the bridges, connecting with you guys and see how we can help you, and also sharing in the information that is available, shared by these wonderful leaders.
And then they will be live broadcasting it on the Live Younger Facebook page. They're bringing the tech guy with them. And so if you're outside of the Texas area, you can jump on, look at the time zone. It's going to start at 10 a.m. Central Time. And so you could be putzing around doing whatever you're doing on Saturday and be listening in live. And honestly, when you hear all these people, they will do a panel with them and what worked for you. That you get breakthrough ideas from listening to these people, folks. And then you realize they're just like us. They just did the system and it's working.
So,
Julie,
sorry.
Julie, you've seen them a number of times. What would you say?
I recommend, I love events. The events is where people make decisions and they see the bigger picture. And I mean, these people are all like super high achievers, and I've done a lot of Anthony Robbins. I kind of assume everyone knows who he is. If you don't, Google him. But he's like big on modeling. I learned that 20 years ago. He said just model the best, copy them. So we have the system now. They've been using it. They're all on trips every year, a couple of trips every year. I think they're off to Italy in August. Sardinia, I believe, if you're an SPD, you know. So okay, let's model it, and we've got it here. We're so lucky to have it right here.
Fantastic. Good point about modeling. The other thing that comes with this is that if you do have people that you know or know of that have some issues that you would like to share this with, you can safely send them to the meeting. It starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, and that's more of a product introduction / business introduction seminar, business building seminar. It is safe. It is, send them in there, let them see it firsthand. And when you're in a room with 500, 600, 700 people, you cannot help to be impressed. Switching tack, there is a convention here in Florida, August 18 and 19. It's called This Is It. These guys are specifically geared in and around the business building. It is specifically how and why and the approaches and everything else. It's specific to build a big Lifeway business. If you have aspirations or your dreams, your visions, what you would like to get out of this, these guys, you're drinking directly from the fire hydrants. These guys are unbelievable leaders. There's the team by Onyx Cole, and I think it's something like 17 or 21 senior presidential director. There's like 19 or 20 presidential director. They're breaking senior presidential director probably more faster than I can drink a cup of coffee, I feel, at the moment. It starts on the Friday. There's a general session from 7 through to 10:30 p.m. So you need to plan to come on in. There is a leaders meeting, senior director and above, from 4 through to 6. Anyone on this meeting, anyone can be in that 4 to 6 p.m. meeting. Anyone.
Sincerely, all of you guys, we could be senior directors by August. Sincerely, I want you to see that it's possible. You've got all of July, almost all of August. It really can happen.
We just learned that there is another one of these, is it Quantum X39 Steve Merritt road shows happening in Costa Mesa on the 19th of August.
Actually, Knut, this is going to be the Live Younger team of the team you saw just on
Okay,
the last slide.
my bad. I wasn't aware of that. Okay, but there is one meeting in California August the 19th.
Yeah.
So just put it in the books. We will come back to you with details and so forth. The final one before Janet breaks some breaking news, I think she was going to say something about it at least, is that we have the LifeWave Global Convention in Orlando in the middle of October. That is the place to be. There's recognitions, absolutely what the team has done in the last year. You also have the launch of new products. And of course, we get together as a team, we celebrate, we build relationships and friendships, because this business is rolling forward. And as Janet said, we went to Aruba. We would love to have you with you next year when they launch. Actually, we will get to know where that competition is going, I believe, or maybe the month before, prior to the global convention. I'm hoping that they're announcing it prior to the conversation. Otherwise, they did that in last year. They did it at the convention.
Right.
Yeah, Janet.
Okay, why don't you open up the whole screen, Knut?
Yeah.
So, no, yeah, that. All right, we're almost at the end of June, you guys, and congratulations. It's really been quite a momentous 6 months with the team. We pulled back from the Sunday meetings for a number of reasons. We've shifted to 331. You guys raised your hand and said, I'm on the bus. This has been fantastic. But what I need you to know is July through December is different. And we're going to help coach you through that, especially if you want to rank up to, not really rank up, but to get on the next incentive trip for next year, which, by the way, you want to be on it. Right, Rainey? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to help coach you through these months and that. So what we've decided is to help all of us, and Casey's in here saying, I want to rank up to manager. I've got busy people under me. We're going to have our own meetings on Monday and Tuesday where we share LifeWave. You can bring people to it rather than going out to all these other teams. And that'll start probably next week. And where you can bring people to our team's presentations, Monday, Tuesday. We'll give you the details. Wednesday, 331, be here. We're recording them. You'll get back. Thursday, we're going to offer the presentation in Spanish. So honestly, those of you with connections into the Hispanic market, I'll tell you right now, the #1 growth niche in America is Hispanic women starting their own businesses. They want to be in business. We're going to have a Spanish presentation coming up. Also, off on the side, secret, double secret. We heard today on the director's call that in the fall, they're launching Korea, South Korea. So you can't do anything yet, but go look at where are the Korean communities around you, and we can start connecting that. Korea is one of the fastest top network marketing companies in the world. They leave the US in the dust. So there's opportunity coming up through the fall. We also know the convention's late, you guys. And so we don't know yet, what is it going to take for us to qualify for that trip? I'm pushing. Today I was pushing on the call. Let us know, what are the criteria? They're going to try and get it, okay? So we've got a lot coming. You've still got vacations through the summer. We're going to do a training every Saturday just on network marketing skills. Nobody went to college for network marketing, you know? And we all think, oh, I'm failing at this. No, you're not. No one, you know, we want to give you the nuts and bolts of network marketing, because honestly, you guys, it is the best profession in the world, hands down. And I was corporate for like almost all my life. We can build a quality of life through this and help people that's astounding. So we'll have more information coming out here shortly. There's going to be different people presenting, but you'll have a consistent message to give to people to bring them to, yes, do what Julie told you, take them to startx39now.com. You're still going to do that. You're still going to follow up, but we're going to have a really consistent meetings now for us. Knut, what else would you like to say?
I think you just about covered it, Janet. As you said, is that since we were running this business, I guess, preview presentations Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays, we probably would like to have someone stick their hand up and say, yes, I can run the presentation. Because this is a PowerPoint presentation that you can put on a PDF, you can put it on your handset, you can run it as an in-home meeting. Roll back, in the month of May, there was 100+ new brand partners registered. Apart from all of us working on personals, we need to engage with those brand partners so we can help them grow. And we need to move through and help them use the presentations, invite them to use and invite them to come to these business preview meetings. Because now we're in a unit, we can actually see it grow and we get excited. This is where the momentum starts, guys. We are a third down the runway. And we have 90 days. We have about 115 days to National Convention. So in the next 90 days, even starting today, anyone on this meeting. In fact, tomorrow you might find the person who goes seeing the presidential director in 30 days. I wish for you that you're so lucky. But every single one over here could be a senior director in 90 days. It is predictable.
Yep.
It's
Indeed.
so exciting. It's so exciting.
So before we wrap up, we've got questions. Jerry.
You are muted, man.
Janet was first.
I'm just raising my hand to help.
Me too.
Oh. All right, ladies, and you too, Bob.
So all we need now is a Spanish presenter for Thursday.
Can't
Not
help
me.
you there.
No, me either.
Elena's just turned up, but it might be too early for her, but I know she's fluent in Spanish.
I would suggest that if you want to do this presentation, that you're at least a manager or above.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a joke, darling. It was
Yeah.
a joke.
And what we would say is the way we'll write it, it'll be answer the questions and the different things all the way through it. But most of you have been on our Sunday nights. All of you can do that presentation. You're good. The key is the questions and not getting yourself caught in the questions where you're diagnosing and trying to make claims. So we just want you to help you a little bit through that. So we will. But we're excited for you. We can't wait to be clapping as you cross the stage in Orlando in October and they're handing you the award. Jerry, wouldn't you agree? Who came last year on a walker after she had fractured her pelvis in 2 places. And she said, dang it, I'm making it. And there she was climbing up the stairs onto the stage with her walker. You know, it's just so exciting. Yeah. So questions.
I'm going to turn off the recording and then we can have free chat.